and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Jahan, and today I'm going to be giving you a really honest review of the Wild deodorant sticks. So if you like this type of thing, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like because it really helps my channel. So unless you've been living under a YouTube rock or an Instagram rock, you have probably seen lots of adverts for Wild deodorant. So Wild is a natural deodorant company, and they have done so many collabs with influencers, Instagrammers, all that kind of thing. It's all over on the ad spaces, and I wanted to give you a really honest review because I've been using this for quite some time now, on and off. I did stop, and I'm going to tell you why I stopped and started again. But I discovered this just before they actually launched, so in that startup phase, because I think it was a crowdfunding or a startup organisation. And I was at the very beginning when they were first giving out these deodorants. So really early on in their journey, I bought this. So I'm going to give you the honest review, tell you about it, the pros and cons, because I think this is really good to have an unbiased review, not an advert, not sponsored or anything like that. So first of all, Wild deodorant is a natural deodorant. It's £12 for the starter kit. So for the starter kit, you get this packaging, which I really love, is aluminium packaging. It comes in a variety of colours. They often do special editions with leopard print and all kinds of things, so you can find something that suits your style. I went for this rose gold one. It's a pretty early on colour, which I think they still do, but they did it in a beautiful lilac, which I think was limited edition as well, and they did it in a blue, so they do some other really beautiful colours as well. So what you do is you buy the infills, and I just went for the starter pack. Actually, when I originally bought this, I bought the £25 starter pack, which came with 3 refills, and they come with really lovely scents, and the scents were orange blossom, some sort of vanilla, some lemon, so they do some really lovely scents as well. So there are usually like 5 or 6 scents that you can choose between, and you make up your box, and it's a subscription service, but you don't have to get it on subscription as well. So you can do it if you're converted and you just think it's easier for me to get this on subscription, you can do that as well. So, but the starter pack just for 1 infill and the packaging is £12. So that for me isn't too bad a price point for something that's meant to last you forever, basically. What they say is about this packaging is that it is recyclable. They have a recycling program which you can email them, and they'll recycle it for you if you decide I don't want to use this anymore, rather than put it in the bin. But they say that this should last you forever. So what happens is that you get sent this packaging, and you get a deodorant which goes in here, which mine sits in here, and you basically take off the bottom because it's got 2 buttons here. I'll give you some more close-ups. And you got 2 buttons here, you press these in, the bottom pops out, you put the deodorant in and you push it up, and the way you release the deodorant is that you twist the bottom like this. So you twist it, and then the deodorant lifts up in the pan there. So first of all, the packaging. Like I said, the packaging is really lovely, but these 2 buttons on the side are really, really difficult to maneuver. I've just tried for 10 minutes just so I could take it out and show you how it works, but it won't move. And this isn't my first packaging, this is my second, because this happened the first time and it actually broke, and I emailed them, and to be fair, their customer service is very, very good. And I spoke to a guy. I'm just going to open up my phone now because I took screenshots of how they responded. So I emailed them saying my packaging is broken, I haven't had it very long, I was just wondering if you could help me. And he said that, could I send a video of me trying to open the packaging, just because they had some issues with some of the packaging and had some stubborn refill packagings before, and they were happy to replace it. And so I'm just looking at the email here, and they were really, really quick to respond, and they did. They replaced this. I sent a quick video, and then they replaced it with this one. Now, I've had this one for, when was this email sent? Almost a year. And on their website, it tells you that this should last you a lifetime, but already it's stiff. And I think if you had any issues with joints, or you find difficulty just pressing, you don't have the strength, you're going to find it really difficult to refill these. It'd be really interesting to know if anybody else has had the same issues, but that's a real frustration with me, because if you could just pop it in the top, that would be fine, but you need to take this off to refill it. So for me, that's definitely a con. It's not the best feature, which I find frustrating. So otherwise, I really like this packaging. It's light and it's very pretty, and it's a nice way to store your deodorant. As I said, you can buy this on subscription. You don't have to. You can now buy Wild deodorants in lots of places. So you can buy it in Sainsbury's, so your local supermarket. You can get it in Boots, which is a drugstore here in the UK. You can buy it in Selfridges and a few others. So if you go to their website and say, where can I purchase this? You can purchase this in lots of different places now, which is great. So why a natural deodorant? So I went down the natural deodorant route because I just thought, if there's something else I can swap out in my routine, which is natural, I'm looking at lots of different natural soaps and that kind of thing, see how it works. I'm not somebody who's really hot on nasties and chemicals, because I think I take quite a diplomatic view on chemicals within beauty products anyway, but I just thought, let me just try this to see how it works and see whether a natural route is something that would work for my body. So other features about Wild deodorant, it is obviously aluminium free, so those people who are maybe concerned about aluminium, I did look on the Cancer Research website, because that's the main reason why people want to cut out aluminium from deodorants, is because they think there may be a link between breast cancer and aluminium. But on the breast cancer website it says that no, using deodorants, antiperspirants and body sprays does not cause cancer. Some people have wondered if aluminium in some deodorants and sprays affects cancer risk, but there is no good evidence to suggest this link. So obviously do your own research, do what you feel comfortable with, but that is a big pull to why people want to move away from things with aluminium in. And the other is it's vegan and cruelty free, and the refill element of it means there's less waste, and we all are trying to cut down on waste, and having a refill with something that can be recycled, because the refills come in cardboard as well, so everything about it is recyclable, and it's just more efficient than buying plastic bottles of roll-ons and then reusing those every time you run out. So that's a big pull to why Wild deodorant is also become popular, because of the environmental factors too. They also do things like plant trees and give back, so ethically the company is ethically sound as far as my research can tell me. So I think as a brand, Wild are trying to do the best thing for environment and develop a new deodorant. So Wild deodorant isn't an antiperspirant, so people that are used to having deodorants on and not sweating under their arms, you are going to sweat with this and you are going to feel moisture. But what happens is that there's this sort of detox period where you will feel sweatier, or there'll be this sort of unbalance under your arm. But eventually, after the detox period, things should settle down and you should notice that you don't sweat as much and the odour is gone, because it's the bacteria that causes the odour. So as you sweat a bit more, there might be a period of where you don't smell great, but then that should balance it out over time. So let me talk to you about my experience of using Wild deodorant. So my experience isn't a good news story yet. So I started using this and I used it religiously, really liked it. The smells that come in here, when you first put them on, they smell really good, and you can smell it under your arm like you would a normal deodorant if you use a scented deodorant. But then as the day goes on, you'll notice during the day that smell wears off very quickly and you're left with like a different kind of smell. It's hard to explain, but it's not a scented smell, it's not a chemical smell, it's more just like a natural ingredient smell, if you know what I mean. So that's what you're left with at the end of the day. So if you've got orange and bergamot, which is the one that I had, it won't smell of orange and bergamot by the end of the day. Not like when you use other deodorants and you put it on and then at the end of the day, if you lift your arm up, you can still smell that scent a bit. Then you won't have that with this. It's not that kind of scent because it's natural. The other thing that I found is that when you first start using this, you still feel quite sticky under your arms while you start sweating, and it's starting to balance things out and that kind of thing. So it can have a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling as you first start using this, but if you persevere, things will change. My biggest gripe with this, and I'm actually quite disappointed that this isn't mentioned in the Q&As or isn't more widely mentioned. So this is why I'm a little bit disappointed, and I wish they had mentioned this on their website. So it'd be really good to know whether anybody else has had this experience at all and what you've done to solve it, because there's a few of us who are a little bit stuck and don't know how to solve this. So I messaged them on Instagram last year and I said, has anyone noticed darkening of their underarms since using this? I've been waxing under my arms for about 20 years, which is true, and they were really even. So I was consciously actually doing things to make sure my underarms were really even and really like same colour, really smooth, just because I had some darkening patches from where I was shaving, which is really common, and so I decided I was going to start waxing, and I started really looking after my underarm skin. I've been using this for about 2 months, and they have been getting darker. Today I waxed under my arms and some of the brown pigment started to come off on the wax strip. I'm going to have to stop using it for a week and see what happens. This is very odd. So I put that on their Instagram page, and what I had done is I'd waxed my underarms with an underarm strip, as I always have done for many years, and it was almost as if it wasn't my skin, but like this brown pigment of almost build up was under my arms, and it was coming off on the wax strip. And when I clean under my arms as well, I exfoliate and do all that. They replied, so Wild replied, "Thanks for reaching out to us. I'm so sorry to hear about the issue you're having with Wild. We have heard of this issue happening before, but it is very rare. The armpit is a very sensitive part of the body, and for a small percentage of people, some ingredients that we use, such as bicarbonate of soda, can cause the environment under the arms to change. A couple of customers have reported that exfoliating under their arms for a few days with a mild scrub has helped resolve the issue. A good exfoliant is a slice of lemon sprinkled with some sugar. All you need to do is rub it in gently into the area for a few minutes before you shower. This could get rid of any dark colour, and once you are past this phase, it shouldn't return. Would you mind giving us a try and see how it goes?" And so I said, "I'll give it a try, thanks for your response." So I gave it a try. It did go away. I stopped using the Wild deodorant for some time. So then I got a random message from somebody online, and she'd obviously seen my message, and she decided to direct message me because she'd seen the conversation I'd had with Wild deodorant, and this is what she wrote to me. She said, "Hey, I'm really sorry for such a random message. I saw your comment on the Wild refill post about darkening and wondered if you'd had any success with exfoliating or found a solution. Totally weird, I know." And I said, "The colour came off when I waxed. It's really weird. It's not gone back to the way they were before, which is really frustrating." And she wrote back, "This is so frustrating. I might have to give up on it. Thanks for letting me know. I'm going to try the baking soda." And for me, even if it's a handful of customers where there is a risk of darkening under the skin, and I'm going to leave a photo because it's not just a small patch of darkening. This was like almost looked like a birthmark under my arm, which was so frustrating. So even if there is a handful of customers and darkening is a potential side effect, it really needs to be put really clearly on the website, because it is so frustrating when you've been working on your underarms, or even if you haven't and you just naturally have really smooth, even underarms, to then switch to something which you think is going to be a real benefit and actually it gives you dark patches under your arms. So over some time I did decide to exfoliate, managed to get it back to relatively where it was before. It took quite a few weeks actually. It took, I think, almost 2 to 3 months to get my underarms back to how I felt they were looking before. And I recently picked up the Wild deodorant again and started using it about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and it's happened again. And in the post it said that it was likely not to happen again because once you've exfoliated and all that kind of stuff, it shouldn't happen again. And it has happened again, and it's just as bad as it was last time. So I'm gonna have to go through that process of detoxing and scrubbing my underarms and doing all that again. And I'm really gutted because I actually really love this product. I love everything they stand for. I love what they're doing. I like the scents. I like the concept. I love the zero waste because I hate waste. I love everything about it. But this side effect is really frustrating. So I noticed they've got a sensitive skin range out now. I think I'm going to order the sensitive skin range and get back to you and let you know what the results were for that, and see if the sensitive skin range makes any difference, because if it doesn't, then unfortunately I'm not going to be able to use this, which is really, really annoying. So I would love to know if anybody else has had any of these side effects when using Wild, because if you have, I think it's really important that we feed back and say, it might be just a good note for you to put on your product that could cause darkening of the skin or could change the look of the skin under the arms. I really don't mind smelling for a week or so while I adapt to the deodorant. It's just the change of skin which really bothered me. I think that is really important, FYI, they need to put on their page. And if you've had that experience, let me know how you've resolved it. If you've resolved it quicker, whether the lemon and baking soda and sugar helped. It's still skin that's quite sensitive, so using harsh exfoliates under your arm can also cause irritation, which I'm aware of, so I'm a bit conscious of that too. So if you've found a solution and you've had the same issue, do let us all know below, because I think there's quite a lot of us now who would love to know. And let us know below if you've ever had any issue with any other natural deodorant, because I'd love to know. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.